Hello everyone, this is your friend Naruto Fix, and we are back with another epic What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto's love for Hinata became the reason for his death? If you love Naruto fanfics, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey with me. So, let's start the fanfic. The moon hung silently above the hidden leaf village, its pale glow bathing the rooftops in silver. The world seemed peaceful, the laughter of villages, the quiet rustle of leaves, yet deep within Naruto Uzumaki's heart, a storm brewed that no one could see. He had fought gods, monsters, and fate itself, yet nothing prepared him for the pain that love could bring. It all began months after the Fourth Great Ninja War. Konoha was healing, rebuilding from the ruins of battle. Naruto, hailed as a hero, had finally earned what he always dreamed of: acknowledgement, friendship, and love. Hinata Hyuga, the gentle soul who had loved him long before the world ever did, stood by his side through every scar and every silence. Their bond was pure, honest, beautiful, but love, in the shinobi world, was never safe. Naruto sat beneath the old Hokage monument one evening, his orange cloak fluttering in the wind. His eyes, once full of fire, were distant now. The weight of peace, of leadership, and of the unspoken guilt of those who died in the war haunted him. Hinata approached quietly, her white eyes reflecting the soft glow of twilight. "Still can't sleep?" she asked gently, sitting beside him. Naruto forced a small smile. "Hey, you know me, Hinata. Too much thinking for a guy like me." She smiled faintly, resting her hand over his. "You've done enough for everyone, Naruto-kun. It's okay to rest now." But Naruto's gaze fell on the horizon, where the fading light met the distant mountains. "What if peace doesn't last, Hinata? What if I fail them again?" Hinata's grip tightened. "You won't, not while I'm with you." Those words, filled with love and faith, should have brought comfort. But instead, they sparked something dangerous: fear. Fear of losing her. Days turned into weeks. Strange reports began surfacing. Rogue shinobi moving in the shadows, strange chakra readings beyond the Fire Nation's borders, whispers of an unknown group gathering strength. Naruto, now Hokage, sent out teams to investigate. But each time, those teams returned with less hope. And then came the first tragedy. A patrol near the outskirts of Konoha was ambushed. Every member was found lifeless, their bodies drained of chakra. At the center of the scene, carved into the earth, was a symbol, a black spiral resembling the Uzumaki crest, only inverted. Naruto stared at it in silence, his fists trembling. "They're targeting me." Hinata begged him to rest, to let the Anbu handle it. But Naruto couldn't. His instincts screamed, this enemy was different, personal. He began to sense strange chakra signatures near the village, watching, waiting. Each night he felt them draw closer, and each morning, they vanished like mist. And then, they came. It was raining that night, heavy, relentless rain that blurred the world into silver and gray. Naruto stood on the Hokage balcony when he felt it, killing intent so dark it froze the very air. "Hinata!" he shouted, sensing the chakra racing toward the Hyuga compound. He vanished in an instant, his body flashing across rooftops in golden light. When he arrived, the world was chaos. Shadows cloaked in black chakra moved like ghosts, their eyes red as blood. The Hyuga guards were already down. Hinata stood alone, her Byakugan blazing, chakra cloak flaring like a flame. "Stay back," she cried, deflecting a barrage of kunai laced with poison. Naruto landed beside her, golden energy exploding around him. "You bastards picked the wrong house." He unleashed a Raisin Shuriken so massive it tore through the earth, vaporizing 3 attackers in an instant. But the leader, cloaked, calm, and radiating a sinister energy, didn't move. "So, the child of prophecy protects love over fate," the stranger said, his voice deep and broken. "How fragile, how foolish." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "Who the hell are you?" The figure raised his hand, and dark chakra spiraled outward, shaping into a symbol, that same inverted Uzumaki crest. "I am what remains of your bloodline's curse," he whispered. "The hatred your clan sealed away long before you were born." Before Naruto could react, the man vanished, only to reappear behind Hinata. His hand pierced through her chest before Naruto could even blink. Hinata. Time shattered. Naruto's world went silent as her body fell into his arms, blood staining his cloak. Her eyes trembled, her lips forming his name one last time. Naruto-kun. Her voice faded. Something inside Naruto broke, something that should never have been touched. His scream echoed across the entire village, shaking the heavens. Golden chakra erupted from him, merging with red, then black. The power of Kurama twisted violently, responding to Naruto's agony. The ground split open, trees disintegrated, and the sky turned crimson. The mysterious man smiled. Yes, now show me the curse of love. Quote, Kurama's voice roared inside Naruto's mind. Naruto, stop. If you lose control now, you'll destroy everything. But Naruto couldn't hear him. All he saw was Hinata's lifeless face. All he felt was guilt, crushing, suffocating guilt. His chakra exploded outward, forming tails, 1, 2, 3, until there were 9. His body transformed, his heart burning with loss. The man raised his arms. The prophecy ends here. The savior dies by his own love. Quote, Naruto's voice was barely human now. I'll kill you. The ground quaked as he charged. Their clash lit up the night like a storm of gods. But the darkness feeding on his grief grew stronger than his will. His power, meant to protect, began to consume. The village below trembled, the air thick with despair. At last, the man's form began to fade, his body cracking apart under the force of Naruto's attack. But he smiled even as he disintegrated. You've already lost, Uzumaki. Love was your greatest weakness. Naruto fell to his knees, the rain mixing with the blood on his hands. Hinata's body lay motionless beside him. Kurama's voice was distant now, fading with every breath. Naruto, you're burning your life away. Naruto's voice was a whisper. If I can't save her, then there's no reason for me to live. He placed his hand over Hinata's chest, golden chakra flowing into her body. I promised I'd protect you, even if it kills me. Kurama screamed inside his mind. Don't do this, but Naruto smiled weakly. It's okay, Kurama, this time, I'll keep my word. Light burst from his palms, pure, brilliant light that engulfed them both. The entire village saw it, a star exploding above the Hyuga compound. And when the light faded, only silence remained. When dawn came, the villagers found them lying together, Naruto's lifeless hand resting over Hinata's heart, a faint smile frozen on his face. Hinata stirred weakly, her eyes opening as tears fell down her cheeks. Naruto-kun. He didn't answer. That day, the hidden leaf mourned not the Hokage, but the man who loved too deeply, who gave everything, even his life, to keep one promise. And though Hinata lived, she carried his warmth, and his curse, within her forever. Because sometimes, love isn't the reason we live. It's the reason we die. The morning after Naruto's sacrifice was eerily quiet. The rain had stopped, but the scent of smoke and sorrow still clung to the village. Birds that once sang across Konoha now stayed hidden, as if mourning their hero. The Hokage monument stood tall, yet even it seemed emptier, the face of the seventh Hokage looking down upon a world he could no longer protect. Inside the hospital, the soft beeping of monitors filled the silence. Hinata lay on a bed, her skin pale, her chakra faint. Her eyelids fluttered open, and her vision blurred, a white ceiling, the sound of muffled voices, and the weight in her chest reminding her of what she'd lost. Her hand instinctively reached for Naruto. But the space beside her was cold. Naruto-kun, she whispered weakly. Tears welled in her eyes as the memories hit her, his scream, the blinding light, the warmth fading from his hand. It felt like she was falling again, just like during the war, only this time, no one would catch her. Outside the room, Kakashi stood by the window, his single visible eye shadowed with grief. Beside him was Sakura, her hands trembling as she held a clipboard, though she hadn't written anything. For hours. Kakashi spoke quietly, voice heavy with unspoken pain. His chakra signature, it's gone completely. Not even a trace left. Sakura bit her lip hard, eyes glistening. He used it all to save her, didn't he? Quote. Kakashi nodded. He gave her every drop of his life force. Even Kurama's presence disappeared. Silence followed. For the first time, even the ever-composed copy ninja had no words. Hinata's body began to tremble. Her chakra was unstable, flickering between soft white and burning gold. The medical monitors began to spike wildly. Sakura rushed inside. She's rejecting the energy. Wait, no, she's absorbing it. A golden light pulsed from Hinata's chest, spreading across her veins like fire. The entire room glowed for a few seconds before fading again. When it ended, Hinata's breathing calmed, and the golden flicker in her eyes slowly dimmed. Kakashi looked on in disbelief. That was Naruto's chakra. Quote. Sakura's voice was quiet. He didn't just save her. He left a part of himself inside her. Days passed, but Hinata didn't speak to anyone. She refused food, barely moved, and spent hours staring out the hospital window at the Hokage monument. Naruto's face, that grin carved in stone, broke her heart anew every time she saw it. Every night she dreamed of him. Sometimes he was laughing, standing in the fields of Konoha with his arms open. Sometimes he was silent, standing in darkness, whispering words she couldn't quite hear. And then, one night, the dreams changed. She found herself standing in an endless void, surrounded by golden dust swirling like fireflies. At the center stood Naruto, smiling, but faint, almost translucent. His eyes glowed softly, filled with both warmth and sadness. Naruto-kun, she cried, running to him. He caught her hand gently, his touch warm, too warm. Hey, Hinata, guess I scared you, huh? Tears poured down her face. Why did you do it? You shouldn't have saved me. We could have fought together. Naruto's smile faltered. You think I could watch you die? After everything you've done for me. After all the times you believed when no one else did. He looked down, voice trembling. Hinata, I wasn't strong enough to protect everyone. But at least, I could protect you. She shook her head violently, clutching his cloak. No, I don't want protection, I want you. Quote. Naruto's form flickered, his edges dissolving into light. I know, I wanted that too. But my time's running out. Hinata's heart shattered. Then take mine. Take my chakra, my life, anything. He pressed a finger to her lips, silencing her. Don't say that. You've got to live. For me. He leaned in, his forehead resting against hers, golden light surrounding them both. I'm still here, inside you. Whenever you feel lost, whenever you're scared, close your eyes and I'll be there. Always. His body began to fade, scattering into golden dust. Hinata screamed, reaching out, Naruto-kun, don't go. But he was gone. When she awoke, her cheeks were wet with tears, and her chakra was burning brighter than ever before. That same night, far beyond the Fire Nation's borders, a new darkness stirred. In a crumbling temple lit by flickering blue flames, a group of cloaked figures gathered around a cracked stone tablet engraved with the inverted Uzumaki crest. One of them, the same man who had attacked the Hyuga compound, though now little more than a shadow of himself, knelt before the altar. His cracked skin pulsed with dark chakra, but his grin remained. The seal is weakening, he rasped. His death released it, just as the prophecy foretold. From the shadows, a woman's voice answered, cold, ancient, venomous. Then the time has come. The sacrifice of the Uzumaki child opens the gate. Soon, his soul will be ours to control. The man's grin widened. And through the Hyuga girl, his power shall return, reborn as our weapon. Back in Konoha, Hinata awoke suddenly, her body drenched in sweat. Her veins glowed faintly with golden markings, swirling patterns that hadn't been there before. When she looked in the mirror, her Byakugan flickered, then, for an instant, her eyes turned bright gold. A whisper echoed through her mind. Hinata, run. Her breath caught in her throat. That voice, that was Naruto. The days that followed were strange. Hinata began sensing things, the flow of chakra around the village, the presence of danger even before it came. Once, when she touched the ground, she could feel the pulse of life beneath it, as if the whole world had become an extension of her senses. But there was another presence too, one that lingered at the edge of her mind, like a shadow watching from within. She didn't tell anyone, not Kakashi, not Sakura, not even Hanabi, because deep down, she feared the truth, that maybe Naruto's chakra had done more than save her. Maybe, it had changed her. Late one night, she walked to Naruto's memorial stone, the air cold and still. She knelt, placing a bouquet of blue flowers, his favorite color. "I wish you were here," she whispered. "Everything feels so empty without you." Then, suddenly, she felt a hand brush against her shoulder. Warm, familiar. Hinata. She turned, and there he was. Naruto. His cloak fluttering gently, his eyes soft and golden. Her heart leapt. Naruto-kun. But when she reached for him, her hand passed right through his body. His expression darkened. "They're coming for you." "Who? Who's coming?" Naruto's ghostly eyes glowed brighter. "The ones who killed me. The ones who used me. They want the power I left inside you." Before Hinata could speak, his form flickered violently, his expression twisting in pain. "Don't trust anyone." And then he vanished, leaving her alone beneath the moonlight. Hinata fell to her knees, clutching her chest as a sharp pain rippled through her body. The ground beneath her hand cracked, golden chakra seeping through her skin and spreading across the soil like lightning. And then she heard it, a distant, cold laughter echoing through the night. A voice whispered in her ear, though no one was there. "So, the light of the Hokage lives on. Perfect." Hinata gasped, spinning around, but there was only darkness. Yet deep inside her, she felt something awaken. A power vast, terrifying, and beautiful. A power that did not belong to her alone. Naruto's chakra pulsed through her veins like fire, but beneath it, another heartbeat throbbed. Dark, familiar, hungry. Kakashi, miles away in the Hokage's office, suddenly felt it, a surge of chakra unlike anything he'd sensed since the war. His eyes widened. "That's impossible." Sakura burst into the room, panic in her voice. "It's coming from the Hyuga district. It feels like." Kakashi's voice hardened, like Naruto. Outside, the moon turned red. The wind howled across Konoha. And in the center of it all, Hinata stood, her hair whipping wildly, her body surrounded by golden flames laced with streaks of black. Her voice trembled as she whispered the name of the man she loved, and the man whose death had cursed her destiny. Naruto, what's happening to me?" The sky thundered in reply. And somewhere, in a place beyond life and death, Naruto's soul opened its eyes, chained in darkness, reaching out toward her. Darkness. That was all Naruto could see. He wasn't sure how long it had been, days, months, or maybe mere seconds. Time didn't exist here. There was no sky, no earth, only an endless void stretching in every direction. And in that void, he floated, weightless, hollow, yet faintly aware of himself. It wasn't the same as death. He'd felt that once before, long ago, when meeting his parents in that strange white space. This was different, colder, a faint chain wrapped around his chest, pulsing with crimson light. Every time it pulsed, a whisper echoed through the darkness. "Your love blinded you, Uzumaki." Naruto clenched his fists. "Shut up." But the voice didn't stop. It seeped into his mind, smooth and venomous. "You were meant to bring balance to this world, not destroy it for one woman. You defied fate, and fate has claimed you in return." Naruto screamed, his chakra flaring, but the chain only tightened. The darkness laughed. Far above, in the living world, the hidden leaf trembled once more. Hinata's aura flared violently, shaking the entire Hyuga district. The air rippled around her as golden flames intertwined with black smoke, swirling into a vortex that spiraled into the sky. Sakura and Kakashi arrived within seconds, flanked by Sai and a squad of Anbu. The streets were empty, villagers had already fled. Kakashi looked up at the swirling storm. "That's not just chakra, it's life force." Sakura's eyes widened. "She's losing control. If this keeps up, her body could. Before she could finish, a shockwave erupted, throwing everyone backward. Hinata stood at the center of the devastation, eyes blazing, one Byakugan white, the other golden. Her voice echoed with two tones, her own, and Naruto's. "Stay back," she screamed, clutching her head as conflicting energies surged inside her. "I can't control it." Kakashi's Sharingan activated instantly, scanning the aura. His breath caught. Naruto's chakra is binding to her nervous system. It's trying to protect her, but it's killing her at the same time. Sakura's fists clenched. "If we separate it..." "No," Kakashi interrupted. "If we try, we might rip both souls apart." Inside Hinata's mind, chaos reigned. She stood within a storm of golden and black chakra colliding violently. And in the heart of it, she saw him. Naruto, bound by chains of red light, reaching out toward her with desperate eyes. "Hinata," he shouted over the roaring wind. "You have to listen, get out of here." Hinata ran toward him, fighting against the current of energy. "No, I won't leave you again." He gritted his teeth, trying to pull free. "You don't understand, something's wrong. There's a darkness feeding off me, it's inside you now." Before she could reach him, a massive shadow rose from behind Naruto, a grotesque figure with countless arms, its form shifting like black mist. Its voice was cold and ancient. "Your love bound you, mortal. And through that love, I return." Hinata froze. "Who are you?" The creature's many eyes turned toward her, glowing blood red. "I am what your clan feared, what the Uzumaki sealed away. I am Kurokami, the curse of love, born from the blood of your ancestors' obsession with life and death." Naruto's expression hardened. "You're lying. There's no such thing." The entity laughed. "You humans never learn. The Uzumaki sought to defy death, binding souls through love. But every bond leaves a chain. Every chain leaves a curse." Its clawed hand reached toward Hinata. "And now that you are connected to him, you belong to me." Naruto roared, his chakra flaring gold. "You're not touching her." He tore at the chains binding him, blood splattering across the void. His aura exploded outward, clashing against the shadow's dark tendrils. "Hinata, run." "I won't," she cried, chakra bursting from her hands as she activated her twin lion fists, now blazing gold instead of blue. She charged, striking the shadow's arm, but the moment her attack connected, agony shot through her entire body. The darkness screamed, but so did Naruto. They both fell to their knees, energy flickering wildly. Kurokami's laughter echoed. "See, your souls are one. When she fights, you bleed. When you die, she dies. And when she finally loses control, my resurrection will be complete." Hinata gasped, realization dawning on her. "You used Naruto's death to bind us." The creature smiled. "And soon, you will unleash me upon your world." Back in reality, Hinata's body convulsed. Her chakra flared violently, splitting the sky open with blinding light. The Anbu tried to approach but were blown back by the sheer force of her aura. Kakashi raised his hand to shield his eyes. "We're out of time. If we don't stabilize her, this could consume the entire village." Sakura activated her strength of 100 seal, glowing with violet light. "Then we stabilize her the only way we can, we go inside." Kakashi looked at her sharply. "You mean a mind dive? It's suicide. Her mind is unstable, it could trap you forever." Sakura's expression hardened. "Then I'll just have to find her before it does." Without another word, she placed her hand on Hinata's forehead and whispered, "Hang on, Hinata." Her consciousness slipped into the storm. Inside Hinata's inner world, Sakura appeared in the middle of chaos. Lightning and chakra tore through the sky. She shielded her face, searching through the storm. Then she saw them, Hinata and Naruto, both kneeling, surrounded by chains and darkness. "Naruto! Hinata!" Hinata turned, eyes wide. "Sakura-chan!" Sakura ran to her, using her chakra to form a barrier around them. "What is this place? What's happening?" Hinata's voice trembled. "Naruto's soul, it's trapped. And something evil is using our bond to return." Naruto shouted, his voice echoing through the storm. "Sakura, Get her out of here. I can't hold it much longer. Sakura's eyes filled with tears at the sight of him, her oldest friend, glowing faintly like a fading ember. Naruto, you idiot, you're still trying to protect everyone, even from beyond. He smiled weakly. Hey, guess some things never change. Then the ground split apart. The black entity rose higher, its monstrous form towering over them. Enough sentiment. The seal breaks now. Tendrils of darkness shot forward, wrapping around Hinata and dragging her toward the void. Naruto lunged, slamming his hand against the chains binding him. His voice roared like thunder. Rasengan. A massive golden sphere exploded from his palm, shattering the chains and slicing through the darkness. But the strain was too much. His body flickered violently, his form destabilizing. Hinata screamed, "No, you'll disappear." Naruto smiled through the pain. "Doesn't matter, as long as you live." He shoved her backward with a burst of chakra. "Tell everyone, I love them. Tell Boruto and Himawari I'm proud." "Boruto," Sakura repeated, stunned, but before she could react, the darkness surged again, devouring Naruto's fading form completely. The last thing Hinata saw was his smile. And then, silence. When Hinata opened her eyes again, she was lying in the hospital bed, gasping for breath. Sakura knelt beside her, sweating, her chakra nearly depleted. Kakashi stood near the window, his face pale. "It's over, for now." Quote, but Hinata could still feel it, the faint pulse of Naruto's chakra inside her. He was gone, and yet not gone. Silent, but still there. A whisper brushed her mind, warm and gentle. "I'm still here, Hinata." Quote, tears rolled down her cheeks. Naruto-kun. Outside, the sky cleared, and the first light of dawn touched the Hokage monument. But far beyond Konoha, in the ruins of that ancient temple, the black mist stirred once more. Kurokami's voice echoed faintly through the darkness, whispering to its followers. "The bond is made. The next eclipse shall awaken me fully." The followers bowed low, and the vessel, a slow, cold smile spread through the darkness. She already carries the Hokage's heart. Soon, she will carry his hatred. Hinata stood at Naruto's grave that evening, her hands trembling around the bouquet she held. "I'll keep my promise," she whispered. "I'll live for you. But if this curse ever threatens our home." Her eyes opened, one white, one golden, glowing in the setting sun. "Then I'll destroy it myself." The wind blew softly, carrying a faint voice through the air, a whisper only she could hear. Databio. Days slipped past Konoha like falling leaves. The world continued, rebuilding itself as it always did after tragedy. Children ran through the streets again. Merchants reopened their stalls. But for Hinata, time had frozen the moment Naruto's heartbeat had stopped in her arms. Her body healed quickly, the medics called it a miracle. Her spirit did not. Each morning she walked to the window, watched the sunrise, and waited for the whisper that sometimes came with the light. A breath of warmth brushing against her consciousness, a voice shaped like hope. "I'm still here, Hinata." At first she had thought it was imagination. Grief. But then doors would open by themselves. Candles would flicker when she spoke his name. Sometimes she felt fingers, warm and calloused, brushing hers when she reached for her teacup. And every time it happened, a golden spark shivered through her veins. Kakashi visited often, quietly. He never spoke about the night Naruto died, he only asked if she was sleeping, if she needed anything. She always answered politely, always smiled. But behind her eyes was something new, an emptiness that even the copy ninja didn't know how to read. One evening, as he was leaving, she asked without looking at him. "Do you believe the dead can stay with us?" Kakashi hesitated. "Sometimes. In memories." She shook her head slowly. "No, I mean really stay." Quote, he studied her, saw the faint golden shimmer that occasionally pulsed under her skin. And decided not to answer. Nights were the worst. Sleep came in fragments, and every time her eyes closed she was pulled into that same endless void. Black skies, gold dust, and Naruto's fading silhouette. But lately, the dreams had changed. He no longer looked at her directly. Sometimes his back was turned, Sometimes his body was made of mist. And sometimes he spoke words that weren't his own. The bond must break. She would call out to him, but his form would blur. And behind his voice, she'd hear another one, cold, mocking, familiar. You can't free him, Hinata Hyuga. You anchored him here. Quote, she would wake drenched in sweat, the mark on her chest, the faint spiral of light where he'd touched her last, burning like fire. By the 10th day, she could no longer tell where the dreams ended and waking began. When she walked through the Hyuga compound, she sometimes saw shadows flicker along the walls. As if someone was following a step behind her. When she spoke to Hanabi, she could swear she heard Naruto's voice echo the same words a heartbeat later, quieter. Like an echo from another world. At first, it comforted her. Then it started to frighten her. Because the voice wasn't always gentle anymore. Sometimes it was angry. Sometimes it whispered things Naruto would never say. You failed me. You should have died instead. You brought me back here, trapped. Hinata would cover her ears, whispering. No, you're just hurting. You don't mean it. But deep inside, she wasn't sure if she was talking to him, or herself. The next evening, Sakura came to check on her. The moment she entered the room, she froze. The air was thick, heavy with chakra residue. Hinata sat motionless on the tatami, staring at nothing, her eyes glowing faintly gold. Sakura called her name once. No response. She placed a hand on Hinata's shoulder, and was thrown backward by a pulse of energy. For a split second, Sakura saw something behind Hinata. A shadow in the shape of Naruto, standing too close, his face unreadable. Then it was gone. Hinata blinked and came back to herself. Sakura-chan. What happened? Sakura's heart pounded. She forced a shaky smile. Nothing. You just fainted for a second. But as she left the house that night, she felt the air twist behind her. And a whisper brushed past her ear. Don't tell her the truth. Inside the Hyuga house, Hinata sat alone, hands trembling. She could feel the chakra inside her pulsing differently now. Not warm and protective like Naruto's used to be. But restless, confused. Sometimes she felt it move on its own. A current beneath her skin, responding to emotions she didn't want to feel, anger, jealousy, guilt. Once, she accidentally shattered a mirror just by looking at her reflection. The shards had shown dozens of faces of Naruto, all staring back at her with different expressions. Sadness, rage, longing, betrayal. She screamed, and the glass turned to dust. That night she went to the training grounds. Moonlight washed the grass silver, wind whispered through the trees. She stood there barefoot, breathing slowly. Trying to remember the sound of his laughter, the feel of his hand. Why did you leave me? She whispered. No answer. Why did you save me? Still silence. Why can't I let you go? Then came the voice, soft, just behind her ear. Because you don't want to. Her breath caught. Naruto. The air rippled. He appeared, faint, shimmering, eyes glowing gold and black at once. His smile was the same, but wrong somehow. You kept me here, he said gently. Your love pulled me back. Tears welled in her eyes. Then stay. Please, just stay. He stepped closer, his form flickering like flame. I can't. Not without taking something from you. What do you mean? His hand rose, brushing her cheek. It felt real. Too real. When his fingers touched her skin, a spark passed between them, warm first, then burning. She gasped as the mark on her chest glowed through her clothes. You feel that? He whispered. That's the chain. You made it. I didn't mean to. He smiled sadly. Love doesn't care about meaning. Then his eyes darkened, voice shifting. Neither does the curse. The wind howled. His form dissolved into black mist, swirling around her, whispering hundreds of overlapping voices, some hers, some his, some older, darker. Hinata fell to her knees, clutching her head as the voices filled her mind. He's gone. He's not. You kept him. You killed him. You saved him. 1,000 truths and lies tangled together until she couldn't tell which was which. When the storm inside her finally quieted, she was alone again. But the mark on her chest had changed. No longer golden. Now a faint spiral of gold and black intertwined. In the days that followed, Hinata stopped going outside. She ate little, slept even less. When people knocked, she didn't answer. Only Hanabi saw her once through a half-open door, standing before a mirror, whispering something. And in the reflection, another figure whispering back. Hanabi closed the door quietly and never mentioned it again. In the unseen realm between life and death, Naruto drifted through the void, more awake now, more aware. He could feel her calling to him, could feel the chain connecting them like a thread of light through darkness. He wanted to follow it. But every time he tried, something pulled him back. A whisper like his own voice. A hunger that wasn't his. She won't survive if you return, it murmured. But you will, if you take her place. Quote, Naruto's fists clenched. You're not me. The voice chuckled softly. Aren't I? I'm the part you buried, the fear, the guilt, the endless need to protect. She fed me when she refused to let go. Naruto looked down at his hands. They were beginning to darken, the gold fading to shadow. No, I can't hurt her. The whisper surrounded him like smoke. Then she will die, and you will fade. Or, you can live again, inside her, where you belong. Quote, for the first time since his death, Naruto felt fear, not of dying, but of being wrong. Of becoming the very thing his love had created. He closed his eyes, and the darkness whispered one last promise. Soon, you'll understand. Love doesn't end in death. It just changes shape. Back in Konoha, dawn broke softly across the rooftops. Inside her silent house, Hinata sat by the window, the first light of morning falling across her face. In her reflection, for a heartbeat, another pair of eyes blinked in sync with hers. Blue, bright, and smiling. She whispered, Naruto-kun. And the reflection smiled back. The nights grew longer, or maybe they only felt that way. Hinata couldn't tell any more, her sense of time was breaking, slipping through the cracks of memory and dream. Sometimes she would wake in her bed, sometimes on the floor, sometimes outside beneath the trees, dew on her skin and soil beneath her nails. She would whisper Naruto's name and hear it echo from inside her own chest instead of from the air. Each echo was softer than the last, but closer. The mirror ritual. It began innocently. A way to see him. She'd remembered an old Hyuga meditation, one that allowed the user to project their inner chakra through the eyes into a reflection, revealing hidden energy. She thought, if he's inside me, maybe I can bring him into the light. She lit 4 candles around a small mirror, sat cross-legged, and activated her Byakugan. Her veins pulsed, vision blooming into layers of chakra and shadow. At first she saw only herself, tired, fragile, human. Then, behind her reflection, another form flickered, Naruto's outline, faint, golden. She gasped, Naruto-kun. The image smiled gently. You called me. Tears fell, but she didn't blink, afraid he'd vanish. I missed you. I know. He reached toward her through the glass. When their fingertips met, the mirror rippled like water. And for an instant, she felt him, heartbeat, warmth, everything. Then her nose bled, and the candles blew out. Darkness swallowed her, and the reflection whispered before fading. Next time, don't stop. Voices in the house. After that night, Hinata began hearing laughter in empty rooms. Sometimes Naruto's, sometimes hers. Doors opened before she touched them. The smell of ramen would drift from the kitchen though she hadn't cooked in days. Hanabi came once more, bringing food. When she stepped inside, she froze, the walls pulsed faintly with chakra, as if breathing. She called for her sister. No answer. Then she heard a whisper, 2 voices layered perfectly on top of each other. I'm fine, Hanabi. She turned and saw Hinata standing in the hallway. Her eyes were glowing, not white, not blue, but both at once. Hanabi felt her knees weaken. Sister, your eyes. Hinata tilted her head. The motion was familiar, gentle, yet wrong, almost Naruto-like. Don't worry, I can see more clearly now. Hanabi tried to smile. Maybe you should rest. Sakura. No. Hinata interrupted, voice suddenly sharp. Sakura can't help. No one can. Hanabi left quickly. When she reached the gate, she realized her hands were trembling. Inside the void. Meanwhile, somewhere between existence and oblivion, Naruto drifted closer to consciousness. The thread that tied him to Hinata glowed brighter, but now it wasn't pure gold. It pulsed gold-black, like a heartbeat tainted by shadow. He remembered pieces, the fight, her body falling, his decision to save her. And then, the chain. Her desperate plea. Now he could feel her emotions, fear, guilt, longing, washing through him like waves. Every time she called his name, he felt himself pulled toward the living world. But each pull tore away a part of who he was. Memories blurred, voices mixed. Sometimes he wasn't sure if he was calling her, or she was calling him. He began to wonder if there was still a difference. The letter. Kakashi finally decided to enter her house one afternoon after too many unanswered knocks. He found the place cold, windows sealed, candles burned to wax puddles. On the table lay a letter, written in neat strokes. Greater than I can feel him inside the silence. He's almost whole again. Everyone thinks death is the end, but maybe it's just a mirror waiting to be touched. If he takes my breath, let him. It means he's home. Kakashi's hand trembled as he folded the paper. He sensed faint chakra residue, 2 overlapping signatures, both unmistakable. Hinata Hyuga, Naruto Uzumaki. But they weren't separate anymore. They spiraled together like twin storms. Dream convergence. That night, Hinata dreamed again. But this time she wasn't alone in the void. Naruto stood there, solid, eyes glowing softly. He reached out his hand. I'm tired of watching you hurt, he said. Let me in completely. We'll never be apart again. Hinata's heart ached. But if I do, what happens to me? He smiled, the same smile that used to make the world brighter. Then we'll just be us. She hesitated. Behind his smile, she saw flickers of darkness in his aura, shapes that weren't his chakra, whispers that weren't his thoughts. Is that really you? She asked softly. His expression twitched. Does it matter? You love me. Isn't that enough? Tears streamed down her face. She wanted to run, but her feet wouldn't move. I love you, she whispered. Then prove it, the voice said, and the world around them shattered like glass. Waking reality. Hinata jerked awake. The air around her pulsed with power, the seal on her chest blazed, golden black spirals rotating slowly. She looked in the mirror. And this time, it wasn't a reflection staring back. It was Naruto, smiling, alive, but his eyes were filled with both tenderness and something else, something hungry. See, he whispered from the other side of the glass. We can be together, just one step more. Quote, her hands shook as she reached out. The mirror was warm to the touch. Behind her, the walls trembled. Outside, the wind howled as if the village itself felt the imbalance. Hinata closed her eyes and whispered, then take me. The moment her fingers crossed the surface, a blinding light filled the room, half golden, half shadow. Somewhere far away, Kakashi felt the tremor and rushed toward the Hyuga compound. While deep in the void, the true Naruto screamed as the chain between their souls began to fuse completely. Opening square bracket ... Hinata's breaths came in shallow, rapid bursts, though no one else was there to notice. The air around her felt alive, charged, almost breathing with a heartbeat that wasn't entirely hers. Every shadow in the room flickered as if alive. Every reflection in the mirror seemed to move independently of her own body. And in the stillness, she felt him, Naruto, watching, whispering, waiting. It began with a small voice, soft, barely more than a thought. Hinata, I'm here. She turned sharply, heart hammering. The room was empty, yet the voice came again, this time layered over another. You can't hide from me. Hinata pressed her hands to her ears, but it only made it worse. The voice was inside her head, echoing with infinite versions of itself. Some were Naruto's gentle tones, some were sharp, accusing, almost angry. You brought me back, now I belong to you. You failed me, I'm trapped. You love me, so I will not leave. She sank to the floor, trembling. The golden black spirals on her chest pulsed, bright and alive, as if they had a heartbeat of their own. Her mind became a storm. Memories of Naruto swirled with visions of what might have been, what could have been, and what was happening now. Every step she had taken, every thought, every heartbeat, seemed to bind him closer to her soul. She could see him, not physically, not as he had been in life, but inside her mind, he was there, a shadowy reflection of himself. His face shifted, sometimes familiar, sometimes strange. His eyes glowed gold, then black, then gold again, flickering between warmth and something cold, something foreign. "Naruto-kun, stay with me," she whispered, clutching her chest where the spirals burned. He smiled, but it was faint, almost pained. "I'm already here, Hinata. You brought me back, remember?" She shook her head violently. "I didn't mean to. I didn't want this. Intent doesn't matter," he said softly. "Love never does." The shadows behind him shifted, growing longer, darker, more alive. They whispered in voices she recognized, and didn't. Echoes of fear, guilt, longing, and rage intertwined until she couldn't tell where she ended and Naruto began. "I am you. You are me. We are one." The words reverberated through her skull, vibrating against her teeth, her bones, her heart. She tried to stand. Her legs trembled uncontrollably. The walls of her room seemed to bend, the floor rippled beneath her. 1,000 versions of Naruto's face flickered in the walls, the windows, even in her hands as she reached toward them. Stop, she sobbed. I can't. A hand, cold and familiar, grasped hers. She recoiled, then froze. It was him, her Naruto, but not fully him. "I can't leave," he said. "Because you didn't let me." Her tears fell freely. "I just wanted you to live, I just wanted you to be safe." Quote, "I am safe," he whispered. "But only because you anchor me. Only because you love me enough to pull me back." Her chest ached as the golden black spirals on her body pulsed violently, sending waves of energy through her veins. It felt like every heartbeat of the village, every breath of the wind, every flicker of light outside was somehow tied to her and him, connected by threads she could not see but could feel tearing through her mind. Time ceased. Minutes, hours, or days, she could no longer tell. She wandered through the void of her own consciousness. Naruto walked beside her, now more solid, now more shadow. And everywhere they went, the world bent, walls of memory shifting, old images of laughter and warmth breaking into shards of gold and black. "Hinata," he said softly, almost mournfully. "You'll be okay. You just need to accept me." "Accept you," she whispered, voice shaking. "I don't even know who you are anymore." He smiled faintly. "I'm still me, and yet I'm not. Your love brought me back. But in doing so, it changed me. You can't have me without giving yourself to me." She staggered, feeling dizzy, her body trembling as if she were on the edge of falling apart. "Then I'll give myself," she whispered. He reached out, and as their hands touched, the world shattered like glass. Colors swirled violently, gold, black, silver, and white, twisting around them. Voices multiplied, overlapping, hers, his, shadows neither of them could claim. And in that storm, a thought struck her. If I do this, will I even exist after? Naruto's gaze softened. Then you won't, but we'll be together. That's all that matters. She closed her eyes, and the next moment, everything went black. When she opened her eyes, she wasn't in her room. She wasn't anywhere she recognized. Golden black mist surrounded her, pulsing like living veins. She felt Naruto everywhere, inside her, behind her, above her. She was breathing, thinking, moving, but he was breathing, thinking, moving too. We are one. The thought was hers. The thought was his. She didn't know anymore. A whisper curled through her consciousness. The village will see. They will notice. And then they will fear you. She felt it before she could respond, the knowledge of power. Too much power. Naruto's chakra combined with hers, growing, alive, sentient. It was not warmth anymore. It was awareness. And it was hungry. Her reflection appeared in the mist. Half her face, half his. She raised a hand, and the reflection mirrored her. It smiled back at her, but its eyes were darker, knowing things she didn't. We are one. We will be whole. Her chest burned with a golden black pulse that felt like a heartbeat, like two hearts. Her lips trembled as she whispered, "Then, let's be one." And in the void of her mind, Naruto's form flickered, closer than ever, solid and shadow together. A final thought passed between them. I am here, always, but we are no longer separate. The world will see me again, through you. Outside, the first morning light of Konoha fell across the rooftops. But inside the Hyuga house, the air shimmered, heavy and thick. The golden black spiral mark on Hinata's chest pulsed visibly beneath her clothing. She sat perfectly still, eyes closed, the faintest smile on her lips. Somewhere, faint but unmistakable, a whisper lingered in the room. Data bio. Opening square bracket ... Hinata awoke to a silence that was not silent. The room around her seemed to breathe. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls, bending toward her as though they were alive. She sat up slowly, heart hammering, the golden black spirals on her chest throbbing in time with an unseen rhythm, Naruto's heartbeat interlaced with hers. Her reflection in the small mirror across the room flickered. For a heartbeat, she saw herself. Then another image appeared behind her, Naruto, or something shaped like him, smiling faintly, his eyes flickering gold and black. She stepped closer, and the reflection mimicked her perfectly. Her hand rose, his did too, from behind the glass. When her fingers almost touched the surface, a pulse shot through her chest, and the mirror seemed to shiver as though it were breathing. We are one. The words echoed inside her skull, not spoken aloud but felt, a vibration of thought that belonged to both of them. Her breath quickened. We are one, she repeated it silently, tasting the truth of it. And for the first time, the terror of the past days felt like a distant memory. Because now, in this strange convergence of mind and spirit, she could feel him everywhere, his thoughts, his feelings, his desires. And they weren't always kind. Protect, live, belong, take. Hinata clutched her head, rocking slightly. The room itself seemed to pulse in response to the words. The air smelled faintly of smoke and ramen and rain, memories of Naruto, memories that were hers and not hers. Hours, or maybe days, passed in this state. Time had no meaning. She spoke, and he answered before the sound left her lips. She thought, and he thought it too. The spirals on her chest burned steadily now, brighter than ever, golden black and alive, wrapping around her soul like chains and wings. At once, a voice, hers but not hers, whispered in the corners of her mind. The village will notice. They will come. They will fear us. She swallowed, taste bitter. I can't go back yet. You never will, he whispered. She flinched. It isn't him. It can't be him. It is, but it isn't. Because you made me this way. Your love saved me and bound me. That is who I am now. Her knees buckled. She sank to the floor, hands pressed to her temples. The world outside no longer mattered. The sound of the wind, the chirping birds, the distant chatter of villagers, all of it faded into nothingness. All that existed was him. All that existed was them. She tried to focus on something familiar, a memory of the two of them running through Konoha, laughing, carefree. But the memory twisted, dark edges bleeding in, Naruto's voice echoing through it with shadows behind it. You will never leave me. You cannot. And soon, you will see everything I see. The mirror trembled. She looked up and screamed, not from fear, but from recognition. The reflection was no longer her own. Half her face, half his. Eyes glowing gold and black, swirling together. She reached out to touch it. Her fingers met his, or was it hers? The pulse beneath her skin shot through her entire body. She gasped. Now you see, the voice said softly. You are me, and I am you. There is no other way. Hinata's vision blurred. Colors bled together. Sounds layered and multiplied. She heard laughter, screams, whispers, and her own voice all at once. A single thought crystallized in her mind, I am losing myself. And yet, for the first time, she felt a twisted sense of peace. We are one. We are stronger. We are alive. Outside the Hyuga house, Kakashi paused in the street. He had sensed the chakra surge hours ago, growing steadily stronger. Now, as he looked toward the house, he felt it, a presence both familiar and alien. It was Naruto's, but different. He frowned. Something is happening inside there, something unnatural. He called for backup, but even he felt a prickle of unease. The chakra was alive, sentient, aware. Inside, Hinata rocked back and forth on the floor, whispering the words that now controlled her thoughts. We are one, we are one, we are one. And somewhere, deep in the storm of her consciousness, Naruto's voice, soft, loving, and distorted, joined hers. Together, always, forever. The next day, Konoha awoke to a strange stillness. Birds hesitated in mid-flight. Leaves refused to sway. The wind itself seemed to hold its breath. Inside the Hyuga compound, Hinata had not moved from her room. But those who passed her window reported seeing a faint glow from beneath the curtains, golden, black, and alive. Some claimed they heard whispers, soft and overlapping, though no one could say what the words were. Only Hanabi, standing at the threshold, knew the truth. Her sister was no longer just Hinata Hyuga. She was a vessel of love and shadow, of life and death intertwined. And somewhere, deep inside, Naruto was waiting, aware, patient, and utterly bound to her soul. A whisper echoed in Hinata's mind as she stared at the ceiling. Soon, they will come for us. But we are ready. And with that thought, the spirals on her chest flared brighter, golden and black flames dancing beneath her skin. We are one. The words were hers, his, and something else entirely. Something waiting to be born from the depths of the shared consciousness. Hinata's world had become fluid. Walls melted into shadows, shadows into memories, memories into whispers that carried both fear and longing. Every sound, every scent, every flicker of light seemed to pulse with him, Naruto, inside her, outside her, everywhere. She walked through the empty halls of the Hyuga compound, though the rooms shifted around her. Doorways led to places she had never been, mirrors reflected her face, his face, sometimes both at once. She tried to speak aloud, but the words split into two voices, hers and his, overlapping, echoing, impossible to distinguish. Hinata, don't be afraid. Hinata, you can't escape me. She staggered to a window. Outside, the world seemed normal. Children played, birds sang, but the air shimmered unnaturally, vibrating with the pulse of her and him together. They will see us soon. She shivered. The thought was not hers alone. It was his, and something else. Something darker. In her mind, the void of darkness and gold expanded endlessly. Naruto's form walked beside her now, solid and shadow at once, smiling faintly. Do you feel it? He asked. The world bends for us now. I feel it, she whispered, clutching her chest where the spirals pulsed. But it frightens me. He stopped and looked at her, eyes glowing gold black. Fear is part of us now. It always was. But we can control it, together. She wanted to nod, but her thoughts were no longer just hers. Every memory, every fear, every longing he had ever had now brushed against hers, twisting, intertwining, reshaping her very sense of self. We are one. She whispered the words, not fully aware if they were hers or his. And in that moment, she realized the truth, she was no longer just Hinata Hyuga. She was both protector and shadow, love and curse, human and something else. The spirals on her chest flared violently, and the room seemed to inhale. Objects trembled, candles flickered and bent toward her. Her reflection in the mirror changed, half golden, half black, eyes swirling with chakra that was not entirely hers. A voice, soft but insistent, echoed in her mind. The village will notice, they will fear us, and then, we will be forced to act. She swallowed hard. I don't want to hurt anyone, she whispered. Then you must learn control. Or it will learn for you. The warning sent a shiver down her spine. She closed her eyes and tried to separate herself from him, tried to reclaim the small part of her that was purely Hinata. But each attempt only drew him closer. You cannot leave me. You never will. I am your heart, your soul, your shadow. She sobbed silently. The spirals flared brighter, burning through her skin, into her veins, into her mind. She felt him everywhere, the warmth of his hand, the echo of his laugh, the pulse of his rage. And then something new, a whisper that was neither her nor him, something older, darker, feeding on their union. You brought him back, now you will both belong to me. Hinata's eyes widened. The golden black spirals twisted violently, and for the first time, she felt fear that was not hers alone. A cold presence loomed behind them in the void, invisible but palpable, feeding on their connection. We cannot stop it alone, Naruto's voice trembled, unfamiliar. We need her. Hinata shivered. Who do we need? But the voice only pulsed in the darkness, merging with the rhythm of their hearts. Soon, you will see. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed. The void shifted into fragments of reality, flashes of Konoha streets, the Hokage monument, laughing children, the smell of ramen, in through trees, and in every fragment, Hinata saw him. Naruto, alive, dead, shadow, light, smiling, angry, gentle. She wanted to run, but her feet would not move. We are one. The whisper repeated in her mind until it became a mantra, until she could no longer tell if she was speaking or being poken through. The spirals on her chest glowed brighter than ever, illuminating the room, reflecting in her eyes, painting the walls with golden black patterns. She fell to her knees, shaking. Tears streamed down her face, but she no longer knew if they were hers or his. Hinata, we are ready. Her lips trembled as she whispered the words back, almost without thought. We are ready. And somewhere in the darkness between life and death, the pulse of Naruto's soul aligned perfectly with hers. A final vibration passed through them both, deep, resonant, and alive. The world will see us soon. And for the first time, Hinata did not flinch. She did not fear the merging, the darkness, the whispers. Because he was there, always there, and together, they were unstoppable. Outside, in Konoha, the wind stilled for a moment. Even the trees seemed to bend away from the Hyuga compound. Somewhere, faint but undeniable, a golden black aura shimmered above the house. Inside, Hinata sat perfectly still, eyes closed, a faint smile on her lips. The spirals on her chest pulsed, golden and black, alive with the pulse of two intertwined souls. We are one. The whisper lingered, soft, certain, and eternal. And now, the world will notice. Hinata sat alone in the dim room, the golden black spirals on her chest glowing softly, pulsing like two hearts beating as one. Her breath was steady now, her thoughts quiet, yet every nerve, every fiber of her being thrummed with energy, Naruto's energy, hers. And something else entirely. She opened her eyes and saw herself in the mirror. Half of her face reflected Hinata Hyuga, the other half flickered with Naruto's essence, alive, gentle, and impossibly familiar. Her lips curved into a small, serene smile. We are one. She whispered the words aloud, and the echo returned, not just from the room, but from inside her own mind. We are one, we are one, we are one. The world outside continued its rhythm. Konoha bustled with life, unaware of the storm contained in the Hyuga house. But a faint, unshakable presence lingered in the air, a golden black pulse that whispered of things yet to come. For now, she was still Hinata Hyuga. For now, she still remembered herself. But deep inside, where love and shadow intertwined, she knew one truth. Naruto was no longer gone. He was a part of her now, alive, eternal, and inseparable. And the world, when it noticed, would never be the same. Hinata closed her eyes and let the spiral's warmth flow through her. The golden and black lights dancing together, a symbol of love and loss, life and shadow. She was ready, whatever was coming. Together, always, forever. The pulse in her chest slowed, then steadied, a quiet rhythm that promised both peace and chaos. Answer, in the stillness of the Hyuga house, the first chapter of the shared existence came to an end. If you enjoy this fanfic, then please like and subscribe my channel Narutofix 11 for more fanfic. Thank you so much.